Although Germany had already developed armored vehicles during World War I, the exploration of tanks began in 1925. In extreme secrecy, a new type of armored chassis based on a tractor chassis was developed. The maximum road speed of this chassis was reportedly 40 km per hour. Germany conducted various design attempts on this chassis, including trials of towing artillery and installing anti-tank guns. As the exploration progressed, the German military clearly became dissatisfied with the armored tractor and wanted a real tank with a turret and a gun. In 1928, Rheinmetall, Daimler-Benz, and Krupp all began developing standard tanks. Among them, Rheinmetall's design was the most successful, producing 2 finished vehicles and 1 chassis. Although this tank, known as the preliminary experimental vehicle, was relatively primitive, there was significant progress in design concepts. The vehicle used a front-mounted power scheme, with a slightly inclined air intake grille above the front of the vehicle. The driver was positioned to the left of the engine at the rear. The tank's suspension was similar to that of French tanks, using multiple sets of small-diameter road wheels with side armor plate protection. The springs of the road wheels and other structures were located behind the armor plate, making maintenance possible by simply removing the armor plate. The tank used a newly developed rubber-padded track to reduce driving noise. However, the replacement of these tracks was troublesome, and the design flaw in the drive wheel frequently caused the tracks to come off. The tank's turret was rear-mounted and had a conical top. In the middle of the turret was a 37 mm tank gun, with a water-cooled machine gun to its right. Originally, the tank commander was to also serve as the machine gunner and gun loader. However, due to limitations with the gun, machine gun, and ammunition, the tank commander had little space to operate. Therefore, an additional loader was added, allowing the tank commander to focus on commanding. In 1930, Rheinmetall's 2 preliminary test vehicles were sent to the Soviet Union for testing and personnel training. The vehicles traveled 1865 and 1735 kilometers respectively, validating some structural designs and crew configurations. Interestingly, after returning from the Soviet Union, the test vehicles underwent many bold experiments, including the Christie suspension, verifying the tank's high-speed mobility and laying a foundation for future interleaved road wheel designs. Although the German military had planned to purchase 300 units of the preliminary test vehicles, it is undeniable that this tank was not yet mature, with many technical issues that needed to be resolved. Shortly after, the lighter and more advanced Panzer I tank appeared, providing the military with a new option. Strictly speaking, the preliminary test vehicle was relatively successful, as its designers were able to apply the experience accumulated abroad directly to the design, avoiding many pitfalls. However, as an experimental vehicle, it was subjected to many test projects, which led to the tank's lack of practicality. The preliminary test vehicle already had the basic elements of a standard tank, including a rotating turret, separate crew compartments, and a clearly defined 5-person crew. Although the appearance of the Panzer I marked the onset of Germany's tank design, these 2 test vehicles and 1 chassis were not discarded but were instead used for training in the military. It was only in the 2 years before the outbreak of World War II that they were finally scrapped, indicating the scarcity of armored vehicles in Germany at the time.